Life can be really hard sometimes. When our emotions are screaming and our brain is sucked out by technology, Stoicism wisdom is always there to help us. Are you anxious? Do you feel pressure from your problems? Are you depressed by all the events occurring in your life? Well, you're in the right spot. Today we're prying into some life-changing secrets. 10 everlasting Stoic lessons, real-life tips that many only figure out later on. Whether it's handling emotions, rolling with the punches, understanding what true success is, or even finding your inner peace, these lessons illuminate our path. Stick around until the end because each lesson is like steps in life, crucial. And the last one might just blow your mind. It's something many people overlook. Take a seat and let's get started. Lesson 1. Embracing the inevitable. Imagine that you live in ancient Rome and coping with life becomes really difficult. There are people who hurt your heart, and even the weather itself is not on your side. Well, like any human being, visionaries such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius understood the futility of spending energy on the uncontrollable facets of life. Their teachings emphasized that while we lack dominion over the weather, the relentless progression of time, or the actions of others, we possess the ability to govern our reactions, thoughts, and decisions. Fast forward to the present day where this lesson resonates with undiminished, if not greater, power. In a world saturated with connectivity, flooded with information, and weighed down by limitless expectations, discerning what is within our control transcends simple wisdom. It metamorphoses into a vital skill for survival. The question is, how can we integrate this ancient wisdom into our contemporary lives? Initiation involves a simple but profoundly transformative shift in perspective. When faced with adversity, one must introspectively ask oneself, is this within the sphere of my influence? Otherwise, consider encapsulating him in a metaphorical balloon and releasing him to float away. This mental exercise is not an abandonment. Rather, it means a wise investment of one's energy. This means choosing to nourish the lush green vegetation in your garden rather than trying in vain to stop the raindrops from falling. Lesson 2. The power of perspective. My God, give me the courage to change the things I can change, the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to distinguish between the two. Marcus Aurelius. Consider the scenario of being stuck in a traffic jam during your morning commute. If you look at the other people, you can see that some are frustrated and angered by that, while others are rather calm and peaceful, listening to a podcast. Traffic delays are common and often beyond our control. The Stoic philosophers, akin to Epicurus, emphasize that we wield the capability to choose our perspective. It is not the unfolding of events, but the manner in which we respond to them that bears significance. In our realm replete with unforeseeable challenges and swift transformations, the ability to alter our perspective is not solely advantageous. It is indispensable for upholding mental tranquility and fortitude. How might we harness this faculty in our everyday existence? It commences with a deliberate pause. When faced with adversity, engage in a contemplative step backward and inquire whether an alternative vantage point exists. Just as a photographer seeks the optimum angle for a photograph, we too can seek a more empowering viewpoint. Lesson 3. Wisdom. The eminent Stoic philosophers, ranging from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, exhibited an insatiable appetite for knowledge and demonstrated acute powers of observation in their contemplation of existence. They regarded wisdom as the preeminent virtue, a guiding beacon navigating us through the turbulent seas of life. In his meditations, Aurelius, in perpetual pursuit, sought profound comprehension of the world and his existential role, wielding knowledge as an instrument for personal refinement and societal elevation. In our contemporary age where information proliferates but genuine wisdom remains scarce, the Stoic emphasis on discerning knowledge and reflective learning resonates more profoundly than ever. Assimilating this tenet into our lives entails nurturing a mindset of curiosity and a fervor for acquiring knowledge. It involves embracing the pleasure of discovering novel ideas, contemplating our experiences, and delving into deeper understanding. Whether through literature, nature, art, or dialogues, each moment harbors the potential for enlightenment. Wisdom transcends mere intellectual pursuits. It encompasses the application of acquired knowledge to cultivate our humanity and evolve into better individuals. Lesson 4. Attaining serenity. In a realm that frequently conflates triumph with material affluence and societal standing, Stoicism presents a rejuvenating counter-narrative. It imparts the wisdom that genuine and enduring happiness does not sprout from the amassing of possessions or commendations, but rather blossoms through the cultivation of inner opulence. This realization often dawns belatedly in life, following years immersed in the relentless pursuit of material gains. It is a pursuit that leads many to stand amid opulence, yet grapple with an unshakable sense of hollowness. The Stoic sages, from Seneca to Epicurus, comprehended the transient nature of material prosperity. They keenly observed the vicissitudes of fortune, recognizing how even the most opulent possessions fail to shield individuals from life's inherent unpredictability and trials. Seneca, having tasted both affluence and exile, sagaciously affirmed that genuine wealth is not synonymous with possessing myriad possessions, but rather having few desires. In our contemporary age, besieged by advertisements and societal expectations urging us to amass more, to become more, this Stoic precept of discovering contentment in simplicity and self-sufficiency resonates more profoundly than ever. How do we embody this lesson in our daily existence? It commences with a shift in focus from external acquisition to internal refinement. It entails uncovering delight in modest pleasures, treasuring experiences above material acquisitions, and gauging success not by our possessions but by the caliber of our character and relationships. It involves recognizing that while material goods may offer fleeting gratification, enduring fulfillment arises from a sense of inner tranquility, purpose, and interconnection with others. Lesson 5. The power within forgiveness. Stoicism imparts the wisdom that clutching onto grudges and resentment is akin to bearing a burdensome weight. It obstructs our odyssey towards serenity and joy. Many come to the realization belatedly in life that forgiveness is not an act of frailty, but a profound manifestation of strength and a route to inner tranquility. The Stoics comprehended the corrosive impact of anger and resentment on the soul. Philosophers like Epicurus underscored the significance of releasing bitterness, not merely for the benefit of others, but for our personal well-being. Marcus Aurelius, in his wisdom, declared, "The finest retaliation is to be unlike the one who perpetrated the injustice." In today's era, where grudges can endure for prolonged periods and forgiveness is frequently misconstrued as capitulation, the Stoic counsel on forgiveness serves as a guiding light of enlightened self-interest and emotional maturity. Embracing forgiveness in our daily existence implies acknowledging that every individual, including ourselves, is fallible and susceptible to errors. It is about recognizing that forgiveness emancipates us from the shackles of bitterness, enabling us to progress in our lives. Whether it involves pardoning a friend who transgressed against us, a colleague who erred, or even ourselves for our own missteps, each act of forgiveness fortifies our character and enriches our capacity for empathy and comprehension. Lesson 6. Autonomy and moral uprightness. In a realm replete with allurements and convenient detours, Stoicism beckons us to aspire to a loftier standard, to become masters of our own selves. This mastery transcends mere constraint. It epitomizes emancipation. It entails the exercise of self-restraint and the harmonization of our deeds with our profound values. The Stoics comprehended that enduring happiness lay not in external commendations or possessions, but in the cultivation of inner virtues. Epicurus, a philosopher aligned with Stoicism, imparted the wisdom that freedom and tranquility are not attained through the gratification of desires, but through their judicious control. In the contemporary milieu, this lesson reverberates with heightened relevance in an era where distractions loom with just a click and ethical ambiguities abound. The imperative for self-discipline and integrity has never been more pronounced. How do we interlace these virtues into the tapestry of our daily existence? It commences with modest yet unwavering actions, opting to rise early for a morning jog even when the allure of the bed is irresistible. selecting a wholesome repast over a tempting but deleterious one, and making choices that align with your values, even when they are not the most facile or popular. These instances of discipline and integrity amass, constructing a life characterized by strength, virtue, and contentment. Embracing self-discipline and integrity entails more than just envisioning the person one aspires to become. It demands the daily strides towards embodying that envisioned persona. Lesson 7. Embracing transformation. While numerous individuals regard change with trepidation or opposition, Stoicism encourages us to perceive it through the lens of evolution and prospect. This age-old philosophy imparts the wisdom that change is not solely unavoidable, but is also the fertile soil from which fresh opportunities burgeon. Figures like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, stalwarts of Stoicism, were intimately acquainted with the incessant ebb and flow of change. They observed the unwavering alteration of seasons and the ascent and descent of empires, recognizing that change is the universe's method of expressing its dynamism. Aurelius, in his contemplative musings, pondered on how life's essence is predominantly shaped by our perceptions and responses to change. Stoicism doesn't merely prompt us to acknowledge change. It implores us to greet it as an old confidant, cognizant of the fact that it carries the seeds of nascent growth. In practical terms, welcoming change entails perceiving each shift in our lives, whether inconspicuous or monumental, as an avenue for self-discovery and advancement. It involves uncovering the positive aspect in unforeseen circumstances. Lost your job? It's an opening to pursue a vocation that genuinely ignites your passion. Concluded a relationship? It's an opportunity to rediscover your individual strengths and aspirations. By embracing change, we synchronize ourselves with life's innate cadence, rendering us resilient and adaptable. Lesson 8. Embracing the present. Stoicism impels us to tether ourselves to the present moment. The current juncture is where life unfolds, joy resonates, and tranquility resides. It's a lesson often grasped only upon reflection, realizing the multitude of missed moments by not truly inhabiting the present. Ancient Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, comprehended the transient essence of time. They acknowledged that fixating on the past or fixating on the future was akin to trying to clasp water. It's futile and leaves one empty-handed. How do we integrate this wisdom into our daily lives? It commences with mindfulness, the art of wholeheartedly engaging in whatever activity occupies our present, unencumbered by distraction or judgment. It may be as straightforward as relishing your morning coffee, completely immersing yourself in a conversation, or merely feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin. Through presence, we bestow upon ourselves the privilege of encountering life as it unfolds, replete with its full tapestry of richness and beauty. Lesson 9. Personal responsibility. Stoicism imparts the wisdom that, while we may not wield control over every facet of our lives, we bear unequivocal responsibility for our actions and their repercussions. This lesson, often gleaned belatedly, underscores a truth many desire they had apprehended sooner, that the foundation of a life characterized by authenticity and accountability lies in taking ownership of our choices. Epicurus, originally a slave and later an esteemed philosopher, conveyed that our paramount power resides in our capacity to select our attitude and actions, irrespective of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, a notable Roman emperor, echoed this perspective, underscoring that our character is the composite result of our decisions. In our contemporary milieu, where the propensity to shift blame and externalize responsibility is pervasive, embracing personal accountability transcends Stoic virtue. It becomes a luminary emblem of strength and self-empowerment. In practical terms, assuming personal responsibility entails recognizing our role in both our triumphs and setbacks. It involves confronting the consequences of our actions with fortitude and gleaning wisdom from them. Whether in our professional pursuits, relationships, or personal aspirations, taking responsibility empowers us to instigate change and evolve. It signifies the acknowledgement that the key to our future lies securely within our grasp. Before I divulge the last and most crucial lesson from this video, I want you to take some time to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. This may seem meaningless, but it helps other people discover these Stoic teachings and therefore gain something that can help them overcome their difficulties in life. At the same time, it contributes to the growth of this channel, as well as our Stoic community. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell. I assure you that don't want to miss the next videos. Thanks. Well, here is the most important teaching from this video, which if mastered can make your life more peaceful than ever. Lesson 10. Mastery of emotions. Contrary to prevailing notions, Stoicism does not endorse the unrestrained expression of emotions. Rather, it imparts the art of comprehending and navigating them judiciously. This pivotal lesson is often apprehended belatedly. Proficiency in managing our emotions does not involve their denial. Instead, it revolves around acknowledging, comprehending, and directing them in constructive ways. The Stoics, armed with their profound insight into human nature, acknowledged that emotions constitute an inherent aspect of our existence. Nonetheless, they also perceived the turmoil that unchecked emotions could unleash. Philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius counseled against succumbing to the tempest of feelings, urging steadfastness while understanding their nature and repercussions. In today's frenetic and frequently demanding world, this Stoic perspective on emotions is not merely sagacious but imperative. It instructs us to confront the undulations of life with composure and lucidity. How do we actualize this in our day-to-day existence? It commences with self-awareness. Discern your emotions, label them, and comprehend their triggers. This awareness marks the inaugural stride toward their management. Instead of impulsively reacting, take a moment to deliberate and formulate a response in harmony with your values and aspirations. Techniques such as deep breathing, journaling, or engaging in candid conversation serve as potent tools in processing and comprehending our emotions.